Okay, so I gave it away. I gave it away. I gave it away. My bad. My bad. My bad. These things happen. I was so excited that I had to pull him in too early. But hey, we've advertised. We've talked about it for quite a while. So I might as well just drop him in, and he might as well just tell us who he is. I don't need to tell too much. Everyone that knows this man knows this man. Everyone that knows this man knows how much of a quality personality that he is. So I'll just bring him in straight away. Hello, my brother.
Hey, hey,
My
hey,
brother from
hey,
another mother.
hey, hey,
How are you today,
hey.
sir?
Lovely to see you in front
Ye-
of a mic.
Yes, yes,
That's
yes,
good.
yes. Yes, this is amazing. This is amazing. This has been many months, many years in the making. So actually, just full disclosure, I have worked with this man for many, many years. I worked with him. Let's say we started in the trenches, like so many others that I have worked with, that I have brought on this platform. I have worked with him in the trenches. We're talking about actually, when was that? We started. Was it 96?
95, 96.
90, 95, 96. Yes, we were young. I was
Yeah.
handsome. I don't know about you.
I, I didn't have a beard then.
You didn't have a
Uh,
beard at that
and
time.
I'm
Yeah,
still,
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
still
yeah.
handsome.
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure, sure. We were hungry. We were hungry for
Oh, we're, we're,
for
we're
for
starving for
knowledge.
creativity.
Yes,
We needed to see things
we
done.
needed to see things firsthand, and that was the most important thing for us. And at that time, we lived in a country where things were changing, things were evolving into perhaps not the dream country that we're hoping for, perhaps not the dream country that we're looking forward to living in. And but then again, we had hopes, and we're ambitious. We were hoping that things would change in our favor if we put in as much work as we possibly could, because that was what our parents taught us. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, this is my dear brother, a friend. He is also family. It's not only people from your direct lineage that you can call family. So he is also family. This is Raymond Elamah. Raymond Elamah, welcome.
Thank you very much. He is a
Hey,
brother from another mother.
yay, yay, yay.
I've known him for a very long time. Enjoyed some creative moments with him on
Man,
television, on radio. It was awesome. In
yes,
fact, the days we started out pioneering radio in uh, independent radio in Nigeria,
indeed.
pioneering 24-hour television in Nigeria. It was
It
awesome.
was something else. We were literally living from the streets to the station. We hardly spent. We were more like the
We're,
studio rats.
we're actually called studio rats.
Sometimes they would even ask you, "Hey, you know, get house.
You
What are
get
you doing
house.
here? Go to your house."
It
So
was lovely.
it was either at your place or we're passing through my place, and that's how we spent. And then back to the studio, back to work. But those were fun times. Those were times when the country was a bit different. I'm sure stories like this would resonate with maybe even our parents, our grandparents, way back in when Nigeria first got her independence. We'll go into the grand scheme of things across Africa right now, because that's what we're here about. We want to talk about Africa. We want to talk about the politics. We want to talk about the business. We want to talk about the economy, the social policies, these things that governments are making across the continent, that is affecting so many lives in so many ways. Let's look at Africa as a whole first, then we'll probably break it down into the country specific. And
Okay.
we'll be talking about the country that we know about, which we are more familiar with, which is Nigeria. So let's look at Africa as a whole, because, that's the whole idea. That's the whole reason why we're here today. Raymond, um, you are a news hound. You were more in the news department, so you know news, you know current affairs, you know all these issues that I have brought up. I mean, that was your forte, that was your strength, the news department. And because of the background that you have, you had access to a lot of information. You had access to a lot of policymakers. You had access to things that really mattered in that way. Comparing the 60s, the independence period, based on your knowledge, based on the things that you have found out, to what we have today across Africa, what has really changed?
What has changed? I think what we didn't grab a hold of from that period is the leadership and the governance systems that were bequeathed by the colonial masters. It was good then. Education was at its highest. We had development. If you look at Nigeria, that like you rightly said, I'm familiar with, that was the era where regional development was at its peak, where education was at a very high level, where a graduate from a Nigerian university can stand toe to toe with anybody anywhere in the world. It was a time when we hope that we'll grow a lot more than we have, but it's hope that in my opinion, that hasn't actually materialized into what we hope would happen.
Okay.
Further development, advancement. Rather, there was stuntness in our growth. It got stuck because of a lot of issues having to do with leadership.
With leadership.
Military interventions, interregnums, and it did not only affect Nigeria, affected many other countries. Military intervention in governance and all of that, and the fact that we didn't grow to proceed to where we wanted to go to.
Okay, so basically, you're talking about organic growth.
Yes.
Okay.
We didn't grow like that, and that's because of the absence of leadership after those military interventions. In Nigeria, for instance, when we came back in 1999 to civilian rule, there was this. I don't know how we missed it, but somehow those who have the capacity to lead abstain from leadership.
Okay.
And because they did, those spaces had to be filled, and they were filled by people who didn't have it. And those people have entrenched themselves in power from then until now. And that's the problem we've been having all this while. That's why there's been no growth. That's why there's been no development. In fact, at some point we're going backwards.
Okay.
In terms of growth in all areas.
Okay.
So that's the problem. The problem is leadership.
Okay.
And governance and
systems. Does that mean that you are it's so easy for us to shift the burden of responsibility somewhere else? Think about it. You also mentioned the issue of apathy, right? That a lot of young people stayed away from participation. A lot of people who would have been qualified to take part in changing the narrative stayed away from everything. So why is it that it's so easy to shift the blame on? I mean, when you leave a vacuum, somebody else is going to fill it up. So should we as individuals take some level of responsibility, some level of blame for our current situation?
You and I know that from the time we met, it was during the military era, and we're doing journalism and broadcasting in that era. We're trying to fight against military dictatorship in our country, as it was in other places. And we're trying to say, look, government should be by the people, for the people,
Mm.
and it should be done by the people, and it should impact positively on the
Yep.
people. This is the message that we were bringing, and
Yep.
the activism we were doing at that time was to say, look, there should be ways to achieve these. These are the suggestions, ways that we can do this. That's what we were doing,
Yep. Mm.
trying to entrench democracy that would ensure development across
Mm.
the country, across all fields of life, and impacting positively on the people. That's what we were doing. So we played our role in trying to get people involved.
Mm. So basically, we're looking at a situation where a forceful yoking. Would that be a right way to describe it? That okay, we had the military, and then we're still trying to be democratic at the same time. That it just wouldn't, round peg, square hole kind of setup.
What has happened in those days is that the military really hasn't. I'm using Nigeria particularly.
Yeah.
The military, what the military brought really hasn't left us.
Okay. Okay,
fact,
that's a weird way of putting it, but okay.
We our system of governance, we call it federation in Nigeria. But what we really practice is a unitary system of government where everything is at the center, which is what the military did. The military command kind of a system where the president says something and everybody has to fall in line, which is why the president of Nigeria today, despite being one of the largest countries in the world, is so powerful that somebody who is far away from where he is in Abuja, that's headquarters, doesn't have a choice but to wait to be impacted by what he does and what he says. Despite the fact that there should be government close to the person at that level. That's not effective. That's because of the system that the military left us, which is unitary, and a constitution that that is, in all intent and purposes, a unitary kind of constitution that concentrates power at the center. Where you really need it is in
amongst the people. Would you say it's that's what causes like a fertile ground for corruption? Would you say that African leaders are corrupt, or would it be politicians, or would you say it's the Africans that are generally very more susceptible to corruption?
Well, they are. The system makes people susceptible to corruption, where leadership is about what you are going to gain from leadership and not about service. That is what breeds corruption. We are in a transition period right now in Nigeria. And I saw, we just come from primaries for elections, and I saw people fainting after failing to clinch the flag for their
parties.
Do you know why that will happen? That will happen because the person has been promised heaven and earth. You're going to get this. So go and do whatever you need to do.
Sell whatever.
So they'll sell their properties, borrow money from everybody and all of that. And in the end, somebody outborrows them. Somebody has more properties than them to sell. So somebody has more money than them to spend on buying the election, so they don't get in. And they don't know what else to do. You see them fainting.
What a big loss.
I'm talking about, they announce the result and the person collapses. Because the thought is, what am I going to do? Where are you going to get the money back? Now, why would it happen in the first place? That's because nobody's going in there for the purpose of service.
Mm.
They're going in there because it's business. Politics in Nigeria is the biggest way to make money now.
Mm. Yeah.
That's why you find a professor in a university doesn't earn as much as somebody who is a counselor who's uneducated.
Mm.
You know, somebody who's just handpicked by somebody who is called a godfather and made a
Yeah.
counselor because he looks around the few people in the area. And when they want to mobilize for election,
Yeah.
you have that person in that area. So you reward the person by giving him the role of a counselor. He
Mm.
earns more than a professor in a university. That's
Yeah.
the kind of system that we have. So why would anybody want to, go through the rigors that we went through, go to school, develop a career and all of that, and start earning a living the way normal people would?
So basically, you're looking at loads of mediocres within the system.
It's terrible. Everywhere you look at, it's quick. Let me give you a perfect example.
Okay.
Only last week there is from the House of Representatives, the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives refused to entertain a petition from the diaspora group about issues in Nigeria. You know what his excuse is? These people are not in Nigeria.
Oh.
So they cannot say anything about Nigeria. And you're talking about the deputy speaker of the House of Representatives, those who are making the laws that govern Nigeria. That kind of a person does not recognize that diaspora remittances alone to Nigeria make up the apart from oil. That's where you get the most money.
Okay.
And he's a leader in Nigeria. Those are the kind of pegs that we have, in our holes. People who shouldn't even be in leadership in the first place.
Okay, guess what? Raymond, the thing with Nigerians is that we know all the answers. We make all the commentary. Everybody has something to say about something, but nobody actually really gives a solution. I have listened to a lot of remarks. I've read loads of comments, but nobody offers. Okay, for instance, look at those that I wouldn't call it fortunate. Those that have gotten fed up with the system somewhat. Those that have had the opportunity to go and find so-called greener pastures elsewhere. They are not able to actually physically participate in what is going on in the country. They can't really vote, but it's okay for them to send money over to the country, and that makes impact. So what can those who live outside the country, Nigeria for instance, 2023 is coming, what can they really actually do?
I'm telling you now that people who live outside Nigeria are trying to send petitions to the House of Reps that make law to say these are the things that you can do as far as insecurity in Nigeria is concerned.
Yeah.
And somebody who is supposed to hear them out saying, no, you don't have the right to send anything to us. I mean, you see, but a lot of people, despite all of these challenges, still mobilize and go back home and say, look, let's go and find out what we can do about say the health situation. Say, I've seen medical practitioners, mobilize, go back home with equipment, go and treat people, provide healthcare that should be provided by government. Those in other fields also mobilize and go back and all of that.
Yeah.
People are talking. It's a global village now.
Yeah.
What we say here is seen and heard everywhere around the world, including in Nigeria. So people understand what is going on, and they're making contributions to what is going on. But what's been lacking really. I'm not entirely hopeless about what's going on in Nigeria.
Okay,
No, no,
okay.
no.
Let's hear this.
The last few years have raised my hope. You
Yeah.
know, what have been, especially the young ones, the youths have been very passive about what's going on. I see a story where during the the past administration, where a 60-year-old person was appointed as the youth leader of the ruling political party at that time.
Mm,
60 years old.
60.
And then the youth said, well, they were just making jokes about it, or writing songs about it, and laughing about it. I say, these people said that we are the leaders of tomorrow. When are they ever going to give us the chance to show that we can also lead? They don't want to get out of the way and all of that. It was just jokes at that time. But since the events leading to EndSARS and afterwards up to the last month, I've seen something that I haven't seen in Nigeria before. I think that people have been pushed to the wall, and they are beginning to remove themselves from that passivity, and they're beginning to get involved. If you see the level of mobilization for people to participate in these upcoming elections, it's not something I've seen before in Nigeria.
Well, that's a good segue. That's a good move. Thank you for bringing that up.
It's a very good trend that is going on.
Yeah.
Well, even if it is just a mobilization for people to
get
there. On the fence, go and get your PVC.
What is PVC?
It's a card with which you use to vote.
Yeah.
If you don't have it, you cannot vote.
Does it make a difference if you have it or not? Because you might as well get the PVC and decide. I'll give you an example. I'll tell you why I'm asking that. Because, okay, for instance, there's so many universities in the country, right? Schools upon schools upon schools upon private universities, but nobody actually plans for what happens after these people graduate. At the end of the day, you now have millions and millions of young people who have left school and don't have work to do, don't have anywhere where they'll get employed. Isn't that the same story with the PVC, where you get the card and then what? Do you always need to wait for the last minute before you make plans for what comes after PVC?
No, PVC is just to make the people be a part of the leadership recruitment process. So you are able to vote and decide who leads you. That's just what it means. Now, before now, what has happened is that it's a selection. There's a godfather who says, "This is." What have you? Haven't you heard? It is my turn.
Indeed, I have.
I have. The people who want to lead us today have been in the corridors of power forever. They don't have any ideas that can
nothing fresh
get us out of where we are. They do not. Now, I'm not saying that what will happen if we get PVC and we're able to vote, we're magically going to change anything. I'm saying that it's the beginning of a process.
Yep.
A process where we can begin to say, no one will no longer be passive, we'll be actively involved in choosing who's going to lead us. That's when we'll begin to gradually change the leadership recruitment system.
And the mindset.
Change it to begin to look at merit instead of who you know, who is godfather, who can place you here and who can place you there.
Who has more money.
Who has more money.
Yep.
We will never change our situation as a people. That's where That is where.
Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute, Raymond. I just want to quickly say something. Just right now, if you're just joining us, if you do join us much later on, what you are watching right now is the big question is Africa doomed on all fronts? And I have Raymond Elamah, who is a social affairs commentator. I just tagged him with that. But of course, he is a man who knows much more than that, who is more vast in terms of so much. And today we're focusing mostly on Africa and, of course, Nigeria, because Nigeria is supposed to be the you and there he goes laughing. Overgrown, I was going to say overgrown giant, but hey, explain yourself. You brought it out, so you explain. Giant. Who's listening to the giant anymore?
In terms of population, but big. In terms of knowledge, human capacity were very big, because Nigerians are everywhere in the world in all spheres of life, doing well, doing great, and making Nigerians back home very proud. It is only within the country that you have the problem of if you see what has happened between the lockdown of COVID and now, in terms of the exodus of medical practitioners from Nigeria, you'll be amazed and be wondering who is left to take care of the people in Nigeria who will fall ill.
Yeah,
that's everybody. Those in leadership, they're here.
Oh, that's true. Well, medical.
The president, all of the ones who are running.
France. Yes, apparently the guys in France now
who are running for president are coming for medical
to get medical checkup. Wow.
Have you heard the story about Ekwemadu, who is the former deputy Senate president?
Yes. It's trending big time. Yes.
Now, these are people who have been in government. Ekwemadu. No, I sympathize with him.
Yeah.
Because I have children.
Okay.
And I do not wish my children to be sick. If they are indisposed, I will do anything
that you can. That is legally.
That's what is happening with him as far as that is concerned.
Okay.
Well, I wish him and the family well in that area, that they are able to get out of the problem. But look, why do you need to come here in the first place? This is somebody who has been deputy Senate president for 12 years, has been in the Senate making laws to govern Nigeria for 20 years. And those laws did not impact on education, because the reason the children will be out of the country in the first place will be to get better education elsewhere.
Yeah.
The reason the children will be out of the country in the first place will be to get security elsewhere.
Yeah.
And healthcare.
Yeah.
And this is somebody who has been in government for over 20 years.
A key policymaker then.
Lawmaker.
Okay.
Laws to govern these areas of our life, to improve them. He did not. So basically what is happening is that, in a sense, their negligence coming back to bite them.
Okay. True.
Because it's not only affecting those who do not have access. What's the money going to do now? You know, you have the money. It's not only affecting the poor Nigerians, it's going to affect, in the end, everybody who is complicit in what is happening here. And that is what we're saying. You know?
Okay. Let's move on to something else now, right? Now that I have you, I don't know when I'm going to be able to catch you again. So let me squeeze every ounce of information out of you. Okay. I'm going to drop a name now. JP Clark, you know him?
Yeah.
I actually met JP Clark before he passed many years ago. In his presence, we're discussing, basically the same kind of, because once Nigerians get together, there's always politics involved, there's always football involved, and so much of those things. So in this discussion, this particular issue came up, and it has to do with national identity. Do you think that if we had national identity, now we have to make a clarification what national identity is, and it's not national ID card, right? Right. So let's be clear on that. So national identity, do you think if Nigeria had that, it will make a difference in the way Nigerians think of themselves, not just of themselves, of their culture, and of themselves in relationship to others?
That is building a culture and a national identity, an identity for Nigeria. It's a function of leadership and mobilization. Leadership, education, to understand your history, your culture, your cultural practices, understand your diversity, and how it is the strength.
Yes, I like that.
Of your country in Nigeria, and not the primordial divisions that we bring in when we talk about the diversity that we have. You know, because it is, first of all, that cultural diversity, that the shared population, the strength of it that makes Nigeria the powerhouse that it is. You know, but unless there's mobilization, unless there's education to teach our people our culture, you know, bring back all of those national days, national songs, celebrate our culture and our practices, and learn from them, and then identify with them.
Okay. The reason why I asked you,
what is eroding.
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, now I hear they don't teach history anymore in schools.
Don't teach history.
Okay.
Don't teach history. They don't teach local languages. They don't even talk local languages. It started in my days, and I'm guilty. My children, for instance, don't understand a word of my language, my wife's language. You know, we speak English at home. You know, unless we begin to go back to the place where we begin to teach our children, it will be gone. You know, traditions not repeated, disappear.
The reason why I brought this up is because some people, you know, like I said, everyone always has an opinion about something. They have seen the future. They have predicted what's going to happen in 2023. One of the reasons why I'm bringing this up is that a lot of people have predicted that this 2023, the presidential elections coming up, will be one of the most divisive ones the country will ever have, comparing it to just before the Civil War. That's one. Two, some people also believe that perhaps it is a ploy by the current leadership to use that to mess things up, if that fits into this description, so that they can stay in power.
There are all kinds of theories. There are all kinds of, but in the end, what's happening is that a cabal wants to be in power.
Okay.
The people that have ruled, governed, misgoverned the country for as long as I can remember don't want to be uprooted from it. And let me explain why I am excited about the mobilization that's going on with the youths and people getting the card and the ability to vote. It is because when the people that have been recycling themselves in power since 1999, when the military were kicked out of governance, are the same people that are still in power today. That the people who want to remain in power because they are in control of the resources of the country.
Yeah,
that's the reason they want to remain in power. There is no difference, for instance, between APC and PDP. The same group of people.
You're absolutely right.
Most members of PDP were in APC. it's like the rotten tooth in the mouth,
Mm.
right? One side of it is in power today, the other side, but
There's one complaint tomorrow. Yep.
you know, that makes the mouth smell foul.
Rank. Yeah. Mm.
That's the
But do
problem. So that's why there is that's why I'm excited about the fact that the young ones, the youth are seeing this. They're saying, look, you
they
guys,
want something different.
you
Yeah.
don't have anything to offer
Mm.
anymore.
Yeah.
There's nothing. If the youth allow them to be there, their own future and their own children's future
Is at stake. Yeah.
is at stake.
Mm.
That's why
Mm.
I'm happy that they're mobilizing and saying, look, now they may be touting some particular candidate. I don't see any candidate bringing any magic wand in
And to fix everything. Yep.
even if you sweep PDP and APC out of power, right? I don't see it happening because these people are too entrenched,
In the
to
system.
grab
Yeah.
it with with a wave of the hand. No, it
Mm.
won't happen. But it will be the beginning of saying, look, we know now who we want in power and who we don't want in power, and we are able to vote, and our
Yeah.
vote counts, and we're able to decide who rules or who leads us, and we're able to hold them accountable. Because
Mm.
that is the thing that is lacking. There is no accountability,
True.
you know,
Mm.
at
Mm.
any level. You know,
Mm. Would you categorically say that we have three candidates, or do you think that there's more? Would you close the lid on?
from my calculation and
Mm.
looking at the indices that we normally use to, measure
Okay.
these things. Yeah,
Yeah.
there are three strong candidates.
Okay.
The reason there's a third strong candidate now is because of this mobilization that I'm talking about.
Okay.
You say, look, these other two that are strong, who say we have structure,
Yep.
and they do have the structure of corruption across the country.
Mm.
And that means what that structure is, how I see that, this is how I see that structure. There is somebody who says, I am strong, I am a godfather,
Yep.
and then you have cronies across the country. Those cronies are just the structure of
Mm.
corruption. That's what it is.
Nothing else. Yep.
Nothing else. Doesn't improve anything. Now, if the people stand against those structures,
Yeah.
that's what will be a third. As far as I'm concerned, on that 2.5. But if
Okay, 2.5.
yeah,
So we have a half candidate.
if there's a strong move by the people to line behind that half, it can be the force. It can be the force.
So give us okay, let's assume which maybe I'm a novice at these things. Who would you, if I had the opportunity, who would you tell me to look closely at?
I will ask you to
I'm putting you on the chopping block right now. So go ahead.
I will ask you without mincing words to look away from PDP and APC.
That's a wise man's answer.
That's what are they going to do? They've been there forever. They're recycled since 1999.
Yeah.
Let them give way to other people
to give it a shot. Yep.
And that's what they can't have, because the people who control the resources of Nigeria are within those two political parties.
Very true.
And it's difficult to get them out unless the people are insistent.
Okay. So, Raymond Elamah, this has been a really, really amazing moment with you, digging into your brain, trying to figure out and try to trap you in some places, but you managed to always wiggle your way out. You're still as smart as you have always been.
I'm always on the other side. I really don't do analysis. I like to go and gather the facts and pose the questions and ask the questions.
Of course, of course. It's different, right? When you're on this side of the table, that's good. That's good. But it's been an amazing time talking to you, catching up. But hey, guess what? This is only the beginning because there's so many things. We're still going to be following what's happening in the country as it goes on. So we will be giving analysis. Hopefully, we will be able to invite other people to come and join in because it's possible for us to continue on this platform, to keep watching and hoping that the Nigeria that we love so much, things improve. I guess that's what we're still hoping and dreaming for.
Yes,
Indeed.
Let's hope.
So next time we come on, Raymond, hopefully I will get somebody else to join us. Let us debate, let us thrash it out and see, different opinions. But your insights today has been amazing. And brother man, tell you what, I truly appreciate you, truly love the fact that, we're still in touch after so many years of, going through the trenches and learning so much more. So a big thank you today for being a part of today's, I wouldn't call it a show, I would call it a moment because we're coming back. It's just for a short time. Yep.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
No worries, man.
Talk to you.
Okay, until next time. Thank you, man. Bye.
Yeah.
And there you have it. I have been talking to Raymond Elamah. I'm definitely hoping that we can get him back again as soon as possible because there's so much that we're still going to dig into and talk about. So you guys hang in there. Thank you for being a part of today's presentation, today's show, today's event. And until next time, bye for now.